Hey, Richard Bryce here, Tennis Hacker. Today, I want to help you to stay nice and relaxed on your forehand so that you can start to generate more power and spin without putting so much effort in, and that's obviously going to be the key to being able to maintain accuracy and consistency as you increase the pace. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, it'd be awesome if you can give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So when you're trying to develop your forehand into a weapon and use more of a modern ATP style of shot, staying relaxed and loose in the wrist and the whole body is going to be really important. When we're trying to generate power, having too much tension in our body is actually detrimental. So what we want to do instead is we want to use our full kinetic chain. So we're driving from our hip, then our torso, then our arm, and then the racket comes through and we've got the racket lag. In order to make all of those pieces happen efficiently, we need to stay relaxed. If we're holding the racket too tightly, it's going to throw everything off, because as we drive through the hip, if our racket is held too tightly, it doesn't allow us to generate the racket drop properly. So we need to stay nice and relaxed as we drive through the hips. The racket will lag back, and then we'll be throwing the racket forwards into contact. So let's take a quick look at what that looks like. Okay, so I'm just trying to keep my wrist nice and loose, keep the rest of my body nice and loose, and just use efficiency so that I'm in the right position. I'm driving through that back leg, and I'm able to get that nice racket lag. But that's actually the easy bit, and the chances are you probably already know that you're not supposed to grip the racket too tightly, and you know that you're supposed to stay relaxed through your shots. The problem is, when you try and do it on court, it doesn't quite happen like it. And the reason so many players struggle with this comes down to more fundamental stuff. In order for me to do all this efficient biomechanics, firstly, you have to prepare early and set up in the right position. And then secondly, you have to have good timing. If you try and start your swing a fraction of a second too late, it's on you too soon and you're not able to stay relaxed. And that's when your body starts to tighten up and start to force it. So if you want to stay more relaxed on your shot, it's actually the first stuff that most people need to work on. Now, there's a couple of parts to it. One of the parts is going to be your ability to read where the ball is going, to predict where the ball is going quickly. So as soon as your opponent makes contact, can you predict the speed and the spin that's on the shot? Can you predict the trajectory? Can you predict where it's going? So you can start to prepare and then move into position. And then we've got the timing of the swing, the initiation of the start of your swing. If your visual system can't accurately predict how far the ball is away and how fast it's traveling, it's going to be impossible for you to have good timing and get the right contact point. And because of that, it's going to be impossible for you to stay relaxed. And the reality is, most adult tennis players, especially if you started playing later in life, do not have a visual system that functions at a high enough level to do this. The good news, though, is that that's something you can actually change with training. I've created a masterclass, a free masterclass that's going to help you with this side of things. I'll place a link down there and I'll place a link up there so you can start to kind of learn about vision training, do a few assessments. It's also going to show you a few assessments for your coordination, because that's going to be essential for this as well. So those links are there for you to check out if you want. But what I'm going to be focusing on here is actually the feet side of it, the footwork side of it. So we're going to have to deal with the vision separately. Something that's going to be really important for your ability to do this is staying nice and light on your toes, being nice and bouncy. Every shot that you deal with is different. That's what makes it so hard. In order for you to start your swing at the right time, to stay nice and relaxed, you have to be in the right place. And the initial movement comes from the back leg. You're driving through the back leg. So if you're on your heels and you're kind of flat-footed, it doesn't allow you to get into position to make the necessary adjustments and then to swing through it. So what I'm going to be focusing on here for just a few shots is I'm going to be focusing on staying nice and light on my toes. So my heels aren't going to hit the ground. I'm going to be landing my split step just after my opponent makes contact, so then I can start to move into position. And my focus is just to stay nice and light on my toes so that then I can stay nice and relaxed through my shot. Okay, so I want to stay nice and relaxed, but to do that, the key is going to be making sure that I'm in the right place. If I don't have my feet set up in position, I can't drive off the outside leg on an open stance. If I'm stepping in for a neutral stance, I can't do that unless I'm set up in the right position. This allows me to deal with the different types of shot. I'm not trying to hit it hard, I'm just trying to be in the right place, stay relaxed, make sure I've got that Nice contact point. Obviously, I'm also trying to keep my head still on contact. I was a little bit close on that, talking, not focusing enough. And that's what it looks like. So yes, we want to stay relaxed, but normally the problems are way more fundamental than that. Let's take a quick look at what that looks like from behind. Now, the thing that I want you to notice is the amount of different shots that I hit. Sometimes it's open stance, sometimes it's neutral stance. I'm having to use different footwork as I do this. That's why we need to stay on our toes. We need to use great footwork, and unless we do that part, we aren't able to stay relaxed and get the nice racket lag and the technical points that we're looking at. And that's why some of these videos that talk about the perfect forehand and the perfect backhand are a little bit ridiculous. There's no perfect way to hit the ball. Tennis is built on solid basics, solid foundations. You've got to try and predict where the ball's going as quickly as possible. You've got to react to it. You've got to move. You've got to set up in position. You've got to start your swing at the right time. You've got to get all those parts first. That's why I've got the Ability Amplify Masterclass. I'll place a link down there. I'll place a link up there. It's about improving your skill level, your visual processing, your hand-to-eye coordination, your foot-to-eye coordination, because by improving those and incorporating these coaching points, that's how you really take your game to the next level. Because unless you can see and move well, you'll never be able to play at the level you want. So if you're interested in becoming a better player, I highly advise checking that out. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've tried to incorporate some of your feedback and do a little bit more hitting. I'm training up my coach, my girlfriend over there, so she can feed me more balls. And as she gets a little bit better at feeding and she can feed different balls, I'll be able to demonstrate a few more types of shot for you. And hopefully that's going to help you with your game. Okay, any questions or comments, leave them down below.